breaking from the gate in the fastest 30 minutes in all of thoroughbred racing as we gaze upon the Mecca. Beautiful day here in South Ozone Park, Queens. A gorgeous Sunday afternoon. The flowers are in full bloom. Spring is in the air, and those turf tarps will be taken up over the next 48 hours. Glad you're with us. Jason Blewitt, Maggie Wolfendale alongside on our last day without turf racing at the Big A.
Goodbye, winter. Turf racing is here to stay, at least for almost the next 8 months. And boy, I know the horsemen and the bettors alike, Jay, are welcoming back turf racing. Big fields and some competitive ones, too, where you can always find angles and prices.
Right, looking ahead to next week, and we're obviously dark the next couple of days. Back at it this coming Wednesday at 1:20. Shug McGahee, Chad Brown, Christoph Comant, Jonathan Shepard. They are back. We'll be on the green stuff. No green stuff in the future, however, but a Kentucky Derby start as we get to Sunday's headlines on the broadcast for American Pharoah, who once again turned heads yesterday, dominating the competition in the $1 Million Arkansas Derby for trainer Bob Baffert. He has come out of that tour de force 8-length win that we're picking up off the quarter pole in good shape.
Jay, he looks like he's out for a morning gallop here. Look at him compared to the rest of the field. They are all out, struggling, staggering. He's just galloping along, ears pricked the entire way, kind of like, oh, where is everybody? This horse his stride is remarkable. He covers so much ground with his stride. Now, he does have that high cruising speed that is good in the Derby. You want that. And he seems to have the stamina as well because that was effortless. The Derby, though, it poses a lot of questions. He is a bigger type. Will he, is he going to get in traffic where he's unable to unleash that big stride? So he's looking like your Derby favorite with a 105 buyer posted for the Arkansas win.
And flying to Churchill Downs early Monday morning. He'll spend the next few weeks. We're 20 days out as we tape this show for the May 2nd Run for the Roses, and he'll have that one workout at Churchill. And owner Ahmed Zayed on the record today saying American Pharoah is the best horse he has ever owned. And that's a lofty statement considering a guy who ran Escondrea, had Pioneer of the Nile, and he's had quite a few stakes horses like Bodemeister and Painter.
And Baffert has said the same thing. I mean, look at his arsenal of horses that he's run. I mean, he's won the Derby 3 times, and he's still saying that this is the best horse he's ever had. So it really makes fans and everybody involved in horse racing really excited about this horse.
And Chad Brown might just say Lady Eli is one of the best turf fillies he's ever trained. She's only 3. She's unbeaten. And boy, oh boy, were we excited. She was making her first start of the year in the Appalachian earlier today at Keeneland as we go out to Kurt Becker.
Pounce from second. Now she starts to move forward just off the leader's flank, midway on the far turn. Sunset Glow leads it by 3 parts of a length to Lady Eli. Gap of 3 to Miss Temple City, who's struggling to keep up. A quarter mile to come. Lady Eli and Sunset Glow. Who would have guessed it? They are side by side coming to the 8th pole. Lady Eli gets the lead. Sunset Glow is second. 3 more lengths to Miss Temple City. Final furlong of the Appalachian, and it is Lady Eli with Sunset Glow, and then Temple City third. Lady Eli returning to the races in fine fashion to take the Appalachian. Miss Temple City got up for second by a head over Sunset Glow in third. That will be a photo for place. 1 minute.
She's a monster. There's no way around it. A perfect 4 for 4 and never had an anxious moment in her first start since the BC Juvenile Fillies turf.
Right, and Errad flying down to Lexington to ride her. Loves this filly. You could see him petting her after she won. She just is easy. She's very effortless. And Chad Brown, after with an interview with Mike Battaglia, stating that he would go to the Wonder again here at Belmont, and then go for the Belmont Oaks, where she'll likely be favored, depending on what Europeans come.
Right, and Chad won that race last year with Minaret, and I don't think it matters at this point what Europeans come over, and that's the beautiful thing. We got a lot of European participation in the inaugural runnings of the Belmont Oaks and Belmont Derby, and I guess the thinking is there should be even more, and that could be quite a matchup on 4th of July with Stars and Stripes, Lady Eli taking on perhaps some of Europe's best 3-year-old fillies on the turf. We get on to the Beaumont. 3-year-old fillies took the spotlight, no question about it, today at Keeneland from the turf to the main track, but we stay with the voice of Keeneland, Kurt Becker, on the far turn run.
Top of the stretch. Fantastic style short lead. Miss Ella on the outside. Divine Dawn fights on third down toward the inside. And Delightful Joy still has a long way to come from the back of the pack. Here's Miss Ella again to challenge for the lead past the 8th pole. Divine Dawn is very game. Fantastic style is there. Final furlong of the Adena Springs Beaumont. Miss Ella with the lead to the 16th pole. Miss Ella for the upset. For Rajiv Mirage, Divine Dawn was home second. Fantastic Style third. Close for fourth. Either Zevin or Sweet Success.
The trainer and jockey combination that had so much success last year with Main Sequence, they teamed up earlier today with Miss Ella, who was an impressive winner of the Adena Springs Beaumont.
Yeah, stretching it out from the 6 to the 7 and change here, and she looks like she can go even further than that. So that's very promising for the 3-year-old stakes for the fillies later on in the year. I mean, obviously Saratoga comes to mind. We'll see what this daughter of Exchange Rate, who obviously likes the dirt a lot, and she's 2 for 2 in her short career thus far.
Well, the $750,000 acorn on that Belmont Stakes undercard on June 6th, I would imagine Miss Ella, no matter where they go next, will be nominated to that race. You've also got the victory ride during Stars and Stripes Festival at Belmont Park as a potential spot in the waning days before we head up to Saratoga. The future is bright for an unbeaten filly by Exchange Rate, who also had ball dancing. He's the sire, obviously, and had ball dancing in Saturday's Grade 1 Jenny Wiley, a race we covered on the National Racing Report. 7:30 p.m., by the way, post time for the Racing Report with the Big and myself on MSG+. But let's get back to Sunday's card. Don't worry about the dark days. We get them in the gate. Race number 2 from Kurt Becker to Larry Colmus to the Big A main track as Larry takes us through the opening stages of Sunday's second.
Papa Shot's got speed 2, and then it's Sebonack away running in third. Mascarello is fourth, and they're followed by Greg's four-wheeler and McQuaid at the back of the field. It will be Elusive Talmo to set the pace as they leave the chute, and the lead is a length and a half over Papa Shot, who's got 2 lengths on Sebonack and Mascarello as the field heads up the backstretch. And then comes Greg's four-wheeler, who's been taken to the far outside to sit 5th early outside of horses, and McQuaid at the back of the field, a 23-2 sharp opening quarter mile here for Elusive Talmo and Cornelio Velasquez, and they lead it by 3/4 of a length. Papa Shot puts on the pressure, second on the outside. Sebonack has the rail right behind them, and then comes Mascarello, followed by Greg's four-wheeler. McQuaid is 5 lengths off the lead as they go into the turn, a 46-2 half mile. And it's Elusive Talmo and Papa Shot. These two with 3 furlongs to go. They're a neck apart. Sebonack is under a full-out drive, 3 lengths behind them. And they've left the others behind for now as they come to the top of the stretch, where Papa Shot goes to take the lead on the outside. Elusive Talmo cuts the corner and is back running in second. Sebonack is closing on the outside. And they're coming into the final furlong with Papa Shot and Sebonack 1-2. Elusive Talmo has given way to third, and they're 6 lengths ahead of the rest. Down to the last 16th. Papa Shot is the leader and is putting away Sebonack late. Papa Shot and Jose Ortiz have it won. Papa Shot to beat Sebonack by about 4 in the end. Elusive Talmo holds on for third, and then McQuaid.
Good-looking effort, second time out. Papa Shot ran once against Gulfstream Park Open Company Maidens. The competition, not easy, but easier. And he was a good-looking winner in today's second.
Well, with a pedigree like that, distorted humor out of an AP Indy mare, you got to think this one, you know, A, is going to want every bit of ground he can get, and B, just bred to be nice. I mean, this was, 3-1 seemed like a gift when he crossed the wire in front here, Jay.
Jose Ortiz, very confident, looked over his left shoulder, his right shoulder multiple times. I think he started at the half-mile pole and got quite a few views of the field in the rearview mirror. Sebonack rallied for second, a good effort out of him. He had disappointed and burned so much money on the inner track, but he showed up with a big step forward today.
Yes, you got to think that the blinkers may have gotten this horse a little bit more involved. He still seems like one that doesn't really want to run on. I mean, he was asked every step of the way by Luis Saez in here, so he's kind of been one that's been a bit of a disappointment, but it was good to see him finally take a step forward.
And we're reminded, a winner. That is Mike Cushion. Hope he's doing okay. Know he's fighting that illness and getting better by the day, but what a winner that man is. Let's move on to race number 5. We'll finish off the early pick 4 and pick 5, and it's the second leg of Sunday's pick 6. Larry C. These are New York-bred 3-year-old fillies in this allowance optional claimer.
Jones gets the lead. Fenwick Hall, Nana Joe into the outside. It's 4 chicks. Bourbon State of Mind is last early and now coming through into 4th as Fenwick Hall is last after breaking sharply. It's Everybody Must Get Stones in front up the backstretch by a length. Nana Joe running in second. My Four Chicks on the outside third. Then Bourbon State of Mind was within 3 lengths of the lead at the half-mile pole. Fenwick Hall trails through an opening quarter mile as they move into the far turn. And the leader here is Everybody Must Get Stones. Everybody Must Get Stones 3/4 of a length in front. Nana Joe running in second, getting a bit closer now. Then it's My Four Chicks, who's wide in third, 2.5 lengths more. Back to Fenwick Hall, and down on the inside, Bourbon State of Mind, as Everybody Must Get Stones turns for home in front. And comes to the final 3/16 with the lead. Fenwick Hall up the rail, and My Four Chicks on the outside. And now these two go by front runner. Everybody Must Get Stones is back into third. It is Fenwick Hall in front as they come past the 16th pole. My Four Chicks is clearly second as Fenwick Hall and Angel Cruz win it by 2. My Four Chicks was second. Everybody Must Get Stones was third.
Bruce Brown, a good day. Had the family out. Nicholas as cute as ever, and they got their picture taken a couple of times. Bruce won 2 races, the first with Good to Look. And how about Fenwick Hall, the Freud filly in race 5?
And it's always that classic betting angle. When a trainer has 2 horses in, he leaves the weaker looking half of that entry in. Scratches a Lakeside Sunset earlier on today. And, you know, My Four Chicks, I thought she would have benefited from a little more of an aggressive ride. I thought, you know, I was just push a button, because to me, this filly looked like she'd come back off the layoff in tip-top form here for Rick Schosberg. And it just seemed like Cornelia was just waiting, like he had so much horse, but really Fenwick Hall got, you know, through on the inside and just had the jump on him.
Angel Cruz, who had a good day here, a good week at Aqueduct, more at Angel, and the numbers he's putting up on this show momentarily as we take a little breather. We've got a lot more coming your way. A maiden who ran second to Daredevil, some Gulfstream shippers for Michelle Nevin, and a lot more. It's time for beautiful Belmont Park, Belmont Stakes. Summer starts here, the 3rd final leg of the Triple Crown. Maybe LL Cool J will make an appearance once again on Saturday, June 6th. Test of the champion, Tonalist Joel Rosario. We'll get trader Christophe Camont, the trader of Tonalist, to the Big A this coming Wednesday as he hits the turf. But opening day at Belmont Park, a little less than 3 weeks away. And believe it or not, Maggie, 10 full cards remain at Aqueduct. That's it.
Wow, it flew by once it got into the better weather. I mean, in February, you're struggling to get through the days sometimes just because the weather was so brutal this winter, but it looks as though it's finally turning around and still great racing to come here. I can't wait, as you were saying, to get on the turf in 2 days.
A new look, Naira.com as well, with new HD free streaming, a number of different angles that are going to look terrific. They look great here at Aqueduct. They'll look even better at Belmont Park. Check it out, a free HD streaming account at NYRA.com. We stay here at the Naira. We stay at Aqueduct as well, and we go to the voice of the Triple Crown on NBC. It is Larry Comas with the call of race number 6. Decent field of 3-and-up maidens.
They're off. Victory is Sweet out for the lead. Up the rail, High IQ Pete. These two with the most early foot. Then it's Bowtie Boss and I Am Atlas away running in 4th on the inside. Knuckle Curve, 5th up the backstretch. Then Bred to Boss and Silver in All Pockets is last. Victory is Sweet leads the way in the run up the backstretch. High IQ Pete a length and a half behind. Bowtie Boss 3rd to the outside as they move into the far turn. Then it's I Am Atlas along the rail running in 4th by another 2. And then Knuckle Curve in 5th, 6 lengths off the lead, followed by Bred to Boss, Silver in All Pockets well behind the field as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. And it is Victory is Sweet turning for home with High IQ Pete bearing down on the outside. And they're into the stretch. And these two straighten out together. Victory is Sweet and High IQ Pete. And Victory is Sweet suddenly pulls away. High IQ Pete came up to Victory is Sweet, but Victory is Sweet is opening up with each and every stride and now has a 7-length lead as Bowtie Boss moves up on the outside along with Knuckle Curve. Victory is Sweet easily in front. Bowtie Boss got 2nd, Knuckle Curve 3rd, High IQ Pete was 4th.
Victory is sweet indeed. Second time out from Gulfstream Park. Colt by Congrats, who was sitting on a big race. What did he look like pre-race in the paddock?
Like he was ready to do battle with the rest of his foes in here. I mean, he just came in on his toes, shredding his stuff. And he's a big, good-looking horse. And I think you and Mike Beer highlighted the trouble trip this one had first time out. I mean, it was a 13-horse field there at Gulfstream, and he had to steady back on the turn. He was trying to rally into the stretch and just kind of leveled off, and Michelle had him loaded for bear second time around because he was sharp.
And we've got Michelle behind us in the winner's circle getting her picture taken with a colt out of a Holy Bull Dam. Michelle wound up running first and third in today's sixth race. A quick pop to Bowtie Boss, who was a little wishy-washy in the win pool. 9-5, kind of a lukewarm favorite. I say dead on the board, in fact, in hindsight, and he was just under a very long drive. Finally got second. What'd you think?
I still think he's a talented horse, but I think he needed that race. Jimmy, I kind of talked to Jimmy before on the race, and he was a bit nervous about him because he can be a bit of a bad actor, but he was very good. But he also said because of the way he's hard to handle, it's hard to get him fit. So I think this race under his belt, he can move forward.
All right, we've got one for beautiful Belmont Park early on during the spring meet. And how about a near 5-horse dead heat? We do it as we go back to Larry for the call of this 8th race, a New York bred allowance optional claimer for fillies and mares.
It's Lutheran Miss showing speed. Prairie Stone on the inside, Easy Living. And on the far outside, Canal 6 is prominent early too. Now Prairie Stone's going to be taken to the back of the field, passed by Katie is a 10, and the trailer up the backstretch is Official. So they leave the chute and they enter the backstretch, and it's Easy Living in front. Easy Living has come through on the inside despite that early bobble and battles with Lutheran Miss on the lead. Canal 6 is right there running in third. Kate is a 10, is fourth on the far outside. And then it's back to Prairie Stone and Official at the back of the field. 4 lengths off the lead as they continue up the backstretch. The opening quarter mile in 23 and 2/5 seconds. Heading toward the half-mile pole, Lutheran Miss, Easy Living on the inside. On the outside of them, it's Canal 6. These three across the track. Kate is a 10, follows in fourth, 2 lengths off the lead, then Official and Prairie Stone. They went 46 and 4 for a half mile. Around the far turn, Lutheran Miss, Canal 6 on the outside, 2 lengths back, and then comes Kate is a 10, who has moved up into third. Official trying to gain some ground. Then comes Easy Living, who's dropping back in between horses and Prairie Stone, and they're into the stretch. Canal 6 on the outside, now the leader. Canal 6 into the final furlong in front. Lutheran Miss is second. Prairie Stone is closing through on the inside, and Easy Living's trying to get back into the mix too. Then Kate is a 10 and Official on the far outside, all trying to get Canal 6. Canal 6, Easy Living on the inside, Prairie Stone. Farther out, Kate is a 10 and Official. They all hit the wire together. Oh, that was tight. Easy Living was on the wire with Kate as a 10, Prairie Stone, and Official.
Begin other than this frenetic finish. At this point, though, Maggie, it looks like Canal 6, who's starting to get a bit tired, may just hold on, but she gets tired and the whole field comes together.
You know, Jay, when you know a horse and you're watching, or at least I was watching, I said, nope, they've got her, and they really did. And, you know, it's just speaks to the role that Kieran's on right now with Easy Living winning. Okay, she looks as though she's a speed on paper, and she has to go from the rail. She stumbles out of the gate. She doesn't get away that well. She manages to get up into contention, duels with Lutheran Miss, starts losing ground around the turn. Looks like she's going to be dead last. And, I mean, Cornelia's trying to get her engaged, and then all of a sudden it seems as though when she switched to her outside lead, she did re-engage, and boy, she got up by a long nose.
Gritty effort there for a trainer over the last 30 days. Has gone 19 for his last 38. An otherworldly stat right there in win percentage for Kieran McLaughlin and his crew. They do a great job. They won the Wood Memorial 8 days ago with Frosted. They'll have one in the Kentucky Derby, and not sure. Kieran might just be the hottest guy in America right now. Holy cow. Cornelia Velasquez, the winning rider. We get on to the Furious 5, and we'll keep the action hot and going as we get on to Larry Colmus for stretch calls of 1, 3, 4, 7, and 9.
Just keeps on rolling as they turn for home. Percussion is now a length and a half behind. Matoris is third as they come to the final furlong. Good to Look still on the lead. Percussion is now 2 lengths behind. Then Matoris as they come down to the last 16th. Good to Look's got a 2.5 length lead on Percussion. Good to Look fast out of the gate. Goes every step of the way on the lead. Percussion was second. MJ Plus was third. And Matoris was fourth. Her on the outside fourth, and Tattoo Me a 48 1/2 mile, and they're into the stretch, and it is Riding with the Devil coming to the 8th pole in front. But here's Jealous coming after Riding with the Devil a furlong out. Kleptocrat is third. Jealous Riding with the Devil. Kleptocrat to the inside. Riding with the Devil holding on to the lead. Riding with the Devil, Jealous and Kleptocrat on the inside. Riding with the Devil holds on. And then it was Kleptocrat, followed by Jealous, and Why Not Her was fourth. It's Papa's Missile in front from She's All Even, and then Stone-Hearted Lover, and on the outside comes Not About the Nail. It's going to be Papa's Missile to win it over She's All Even, then came Stone-Hearted Lover and Not About the Nail. Dynamo Flotilla's wide, 45 1/2. They're into the stretch, and Paz Silicious is opened up by 5. Charleston Pier trying to close the gap now on the inside, and then it's Dynamo Flotilla in third, coming down to the 16th pole. Passilicious with a 4-length lead on Charleston Pier. Late move from Cosmo Storm inside of Dynamo Flotilla. Passilicious wins it. Charleston Pier was second. Cosmo Storm got up for third, and Dynamo Flotilla was lead over Poliziano, who's starting to drop back out of it. On the outside, Summit County, and coming up the fence, it's Moonlock, but they've got to come get North Ocean. 1 furlong to run. North Ocean keeps a 4-length lead, and then it's Summit County, Poliziano, Moonlock on the inside, followed by More 100 Acre, and Playing a Joke is 16th to go, and it's North Ocean. North Ocean under the wire. He was the king today. North Ocean won it over Playing a Joke, and then came Poliziano and Summit County.
He was the king in the nightcap, as Larry Colmus called it, and a pedigree of a king, that's for sure, as we take out our trusty binoculars from the rail at the Big A and have our second look here on the Sunday edition of Aqueduct Insider. We don't go back far. We get to race number 9, and good to see North Ocean. Had some questions with him today off a bit of a layoff and a drop, but he was back to his best off the claim for Mike Maselli.
Yeah, good. I mean, Mike Maselli doesn't have that many horses, but he does do a good job with what he's got. And North Ocean, as you were saying, now he goes 9 for 23 lifetime. He just knows how to win. He did get everything his way today, but still, it's good to see the old boy come back in good form.
6-year-old gelding by Street Cry out of the multiple Grade 1 winning, and if I'm not mistaken, Eclipse champion, Beautiful Pleasure. Monster pedigree on North Ocean, who has found a home in these cheaper kind of claiming races. He's all heart, and I misspoke. Second off the claim for trainer Mike Maselli, and a pick 6 carryover, Maggie, in a Wednesday of 22,000 plus.
And it's not like we had any really big, payouts today. I think it was just kicked off with Papa's Missile winning at 7 or 8 to 1. So yeah, we'll always take a carryover.
Moonluck was the only one covered in the pick 6. He did not win the nightcap. Claims on the afternoon. Let's see. Well, or at least early on this card, the 2 out of the first 3 races were claiming races, and those winners were in fact claimed.
Yeah, good to look. Goes right back to Danny Gargan. Ultraor, Rudy Rodriguez picks him up in a 3-way shake. He did not run very well today, so hopefully he can turn things around. Riding with the Devil, though, was the next winner, and Michelle Nevin picks her up. And
North Ocean reclaimed by David Jacobson. He'll be, I would imagine, stepping up off the 12.5 as we step up to a week back in the week that was here at the Big A. It's good to be back in action with a 5-day racing week as we gaze at New York City's racetrack. I know that bird hanging out. We've got the seagulls here at the Big A. That must be a great spot to watch the races. That gives you, talk about a bird's eye view here at Aqueduct Racetrack as we look upon the Mecca. We've got the 9-furlong main track back on the turf this coming Wednesday. And glad you're still with us in the home stretch, passing the 16 pole with Jason Blewitt and Maggie Wolfendale. 5 consecutive racing days, Maggie. It's been a while since we ran a 5-day week at Aqueduct with 4-day weeks, Easter, Palm Sunday, some cancellations. We've got a lot to get to, and we begin with 2 horses who were very close to each other as we kick off Top Performers.
Yes, we do. And going back to this allowance race here, we'll check out Stall Walkin' Dude, who stepped up his game here once again for David Jacobson. He's done well with this horse since claiming him, and he's a game somebody here. Yeah. And Sky Commander gave him everything that he could. I thought Sky Commander coming up from Florida looked fantastic, but Stall Walkin' Dude, he'd had the races over he'd been training over the main track and races over the inner that made him so competitive here.
They like those hard hitters and stall walking dudes. Speaking of being a hard hitter, he's entered right back on Friday afternoon for David Jacobson. Drama King for Rudy Rodriguez and Michael Dubb. Where did this effort come from?
Holy performance. And he got a 95. He stepped up from a 66 to a 90. You don't see horses often take that kind of step up. And he's a New York bred, Jay, and this was against Open Company here. He did have everything his own way. I think he enjoyed being on the lead, and he set some quick fractions, and he just kept going.
Always like to see horses by no biz like Showbiz, a former Wood winner. There aren't that many around.
No.
He was part of that excellent crop of 3-year-olds in 07 with Hard Spun, Curlin, Any Given Saturday, and Street Sense. Maybe you get a glimmer of 07 looking at the upper echelon of these 3-year-olds that are pointing to the Kentucky Derby 20 days from now. But Drama King, very sharp, as was the Distorted Humor filly in House Rules. Maybe sharp isn't the right word, but she was classy in winning, and I think ultimately her talents came through in deep stretch in Saturday's Top Flight.
I mean, yes, because you can see none of the other horses running from behind or running on like she is, because these two had things their own way up top, and as you said, Jay, her class came through for Jimmy Jerkins.
Hot jockey here. We had Junior Alvarado, who's been racking up stakes wins with each passing Saturday. He was aboard House Rules, but Angel Cruz at Aqueduct won more races than any other rider this week at the Big A. Wow, look at that number.
He had a 3-bagger today, and I mean, sandwiched in between that, he went down in the last a couple days ago, and thank goodness everything was okay for him. But Angel still sitting atop the leaderboard. Jose is closing in, coming off coming off of his suspension.
And had a hat trick today as well. 3 wins for Cruz, 3 wins for Jose Ortiz. Less than that for trainer Joe Orsino, but Joe sent out 3 and won 2 races at a couple of nice prices, including one with Persuasive Devil, who was very good here the other day.
Yeah, exactly. He also sent out Cali 37, who was, I think, 23 to 1 that day. She did win on her day where, well, you wanted to be on the lead, and she had that, and a good ride by Junior Alvarado. But Persuasive Devil, he ran down a pretty good-looking duo from the Bromans.
All right, fair enough. We've got the National Racing Report here on the broadcast, MSG Plus. In fact, 7:30 p.m. Monday and Tuesday, a complete weekend wrap-up, and what a weekend it was. American Pharaoh, the Coolmore Lexington, and how about that young man, 19 years old, riding against some of the best jockeys in the world, and #1 at this point in the Big A meet. It's Angel Cruz. We'll see him back this Wednesday. Thanks for joining us.